Before we get started, I want to invite you to something I'm really excited about. We have our next Rehab Chiro Mastermind Live event coming up this September in New Jersey. If you're a regular listener and you've been enjoying what we teach on this podcast, this is an opportunity you won't want to miss. You can find the registration link and all the details in the show notes. Now, let's get to today's episode.
Thank you for being here. Seriously, every time we do this, there's a little bit of wonder if anyone will ever show up. Just like in your practice, right? When you do a workshop, you still have that. And so the fact that you guys still come and show up to these, listen to us do our thing is really, 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 really special. We have a ton for you planned this weekend. I'm going to get into what I got for you, but I think what I want you to pay attention this weekend is this is a transformational weekend for us. I told you at the last event that this event specifically was going to feel different, and there was going to be a few reasons for that. One of the main ones is that my growth as a leader has always been to make sure that I can lead others. And I believe that the best leaders and who I aspire to be are ones that prop people up. And so I'm on stage, and you'll see me this afternoon, and you'll see me this weekend, but you're going to hear from a lot of other people on purpose. You're going to hear from people who are sitting here right now, people that have been in the shit, just like you, people who have questioned it, people who never thought they'd own a business, people who are now crushing it, people who I learned from, that I learned from. And that's why this weekend is a turning point for this community and honestly, for our profession. Because up until recently, it's been the me show, being on here and having to push this forward. But not anymore. It doesn't need to be, and I don't want it to be. And so put this date on your calendar as a moment where you saw this whole thing that we've created transform to the next level. But before we get there, I actually want to go back. How many of you guys were in Orlando? Raise your hand. Good crew. Does anyone remember my keynote? It was that special, huh? What was it? Do it scared. Do it scared? Yeah. So the keynote was about make a decision. That people in this room needed to make a decision. And if you weren't here, the hard part, why you're really here, every single one of you is here to make a decision. To make a decision. Some of you guys in here, you need to make the decision to join this community. Some of you in here have to make the decision to open your business. Make the decision. Some of you in here, you need to make the decision to add a marketing channel. Some of you in here need to hire someone. Some of you in here, the team members in here, need to step the fuck up. Every one of you is here to make a decision. I tricked all of you. You came here to make a decision. If you leave here on Sunday and don't make a decision to change your life and change your business, I fucked up. It's pretty good, I thought. But then about a month later, I was on a call with this guy. And his name is Larry. He is my executive coach. And he's also Hannah's coach. So I do this whole shtick at the event about making a decision. People have to be motivated. People have to go do stuff. People add a marketing channel, hire, you heard it, all this stuff, right? And I'm on a call with him. I'm like, I don't understand, Larry. I don't get it. I told them to make a fucking decision, and people are still not doing anything. I did this Google thing, and they're still not doing their ad. They didn't make the decision to do it. They're not growing their business. They still haven't hired. And he's the coolest dude ever. He just looks at me. He's laughing. He's from Texas. Man, he's looking at me. He's laughing, doesn't know what to do. He just lets me keep going. And I stop, and he goes, "You done?" I'm done. He then literally looks out like this at his window. He goes, "You see my roof out there?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "There's 6 birds on that roof." I said, "Okay, where the fuck is this going?" Let me ask you a question. If there's 6 birds on that roof, and 4 decide to fly away, how many birds are left? How many birds are left? 6 birds fly away? 6. 4 make the decision? How many are left? 2. You didn't need a doctorate degree to know that one. 6 are here, 4 go away, 2 left over, got the math, we're good. I go, 2! He goes, zzz, zzz, zzz. No. I go, what? No, that's math. He goes, 6. What the fuck are you talking about, dude? 6 minus 4 is 2. He goes, my brother, deciding is not doing. This is your fault. You told them they needed to decide. You told them to make a decision. They don't need to decide. They need to act. And he keeps going. Now it's getting good. He said, I've been doing this for 40 years. I've worked in multiple businesses. I'm a CEO of a $10 million company. I coach people that are multi-million-dollar entrepreneurs. He said, the world is full of people who have decided and nothing changes. He said, the problem is not that they decide. The problem is that they don't do anything after. I messed up because I massively overestimated the value of making a decision. You heard it. Joining our community, hiring someone, systematizing what's in your business. I'm making a decision to systematize. I'm making a decision to scale. But what they underestimate is the value of acting immediately. See, the problem is that many of us, we decide to do something, and then we hesitate. And as Casey, she didn't see my slides, days, weeks, months, they pass. And the problem is, in an event like this, where I messed up, was I know that people are going to be motivated and emotions are high. But the problem is, when we leave here, if we only make a decision, they fade. And then your urgency fades. And even though that decision that you made at that time could have legitimately changed your life, it just becomes another thing that we almost did. And the reality is, most people are not stuck because they can't make a decision. They are stuck because they don't take action. Most of you do not have a decision problem. At some point, every single person in this room made a decision to be successful. The problem is that many of you, if you aren't where you want to be, if you don't have the business that you want, if you don't have the life that you want, if you don't have the money that you want, there's a disconnect between that decision and you taking action. There's an old story, and it goes a little like this. There's a pottery class, and at the beginning of the semester, the professor comes up and he said, class, the goal of being here is that we are going to divide this room into 2, group 1 and group 2. And by the end of the semester, we are going to have a contest. And we are going to see which group makes the better pottery bowl. Group A, this is your assignment. You are allowed to make 1 pottery bowl for the entire 16-week semester. And so I want you to spend the first 15 weeks measuring, planning, thinking about, processing, taking notes. And then when you gather all of that for a long enough time, by week 15, you got 1 chance to make 1 pottery bowl, and that's all you get. In group B, you guys, you do the complete opposite. Your job is to make as many pottery bowls as you can in the 15 weeks. Every day, every minute, every hour, you're going to go and you're going to iterate and you do it again and you're going to go again and you're going to go again and again. The idea in this group is that for every bad pottery bowl that we made, we would get feedback. And then we could go and iterate and make another one and make another one and make another one. And what they wanted to see was if we spend the time to decide and measure and think and do and all that, and we just go take action over and over and over and iterate, which one would be better? And I think you know who won. You see, the problem with group A and the problem with many people here is you fall into what's called the perfectionist trap. The perfectionist trap is this. The idea is the goal. You have an idea to build your business. The idea to be successful. You have an idea to make more money. You have an idea to scale your business, grow it, and sell it. You have a dream and an idea to build a clinic that grows beyond you. But that's a trap because it's just an idea. The people that win in life and in business are the ones that the idea is not the goal. The action is the goal. I just spoke at Parker Palmer on Wednesday. And I told them the same thing I'm about to tell you. The challenge that we face here is we have a group that has been objectively successful in doing the complete opposite of what works in business. You guys have followed the system perfectly. You have studied your ass off as much as you possibly could, and then took a test and passed the test. And what happens if you fail the test? You fail. Like literally, you have to go back, redo the semester. You fail boards, go back, do it again. And so the amount of time and prep that you do is like, that's the thing, because when you go and do it, if you fail, there are real consequences. Every single one of you understands that, and you're in this room because you have been successful with that model. If I said to you, you're going to go take part 1 boards and just take it as many times as you can, just take it and you'll learn eventually, you'd be like, what? No, that's not how this works. That is not how that works. That is not how that system works. And so when I say to you, how do you know how to run an ad? How do you know how to onboard a new employee? How do you know how to do that? There is no planning. The best way to do it is go and do. And when it works, and even better, when it doesn't, you have a feedback loop to go back and do it again. But what you have to be comfortable with is the fact that it is going to go wrong. It will go wrong, and that's what makes it right. I get caught too. People ask me marketing questions. What should I do here? How should I do this? And I give an answer, and then all of a sudden it's like, actually, I got no fucking clue. The only thing I know is you can go and do it, and if it doesn't work, we got to go try something else. You pay me a lot of money for that advice. I don't know. I don't know. But I know I will test. And I know I will not fall in the perfectionist trap. The winners take action. Winners take action. Everyone else thinks about it.
This episode is sponsored by Jane. So the reason I decided to partner with them is pretty simple. I looked at the 140 clinic owners inside my mastermind, and the one thing they all had in common was Jane. I'm serious. They kept bringing it up over and over again. So if you're running a clinic, you already have enough to think about. Scheduling patients, charting, reminders, billing, it adds up fast. Jane puts all this into one place. You can spend less time dealing with admin and more time taking care of patients. So if you're interested in Jane, click the link in the description to book a demo and use our code RehabChiro1MO for your first month free.
So now the question becomes, what is action? What is action? We like to define terms around here. What is action? Derek, what do you think action is? Reviewing the data. You're fucking with me. All right, we'll come back to you.
Do the fucking thing.
Do the thing. What? Give me one more. What is action? What is action? Action is doing something that creates real change. I didn't say correct. I said real change. Action is doing something that creates real change. If nothing changes outside of your head, it is not action. If nothing changes outside of your head, it is not action. Thinking and planning are irrelevant without immediate action. If nothing changes immediately, you have not taken action. I have people I talk to all the time. They are thinking about starting a business. They are thinking about going into it. And they've been thinking for 3 years. They're thinking that one day they might potentially do marketing. I talked to someone last week. He's like, I just need to get more new patients. I was like, great, what are you doing? He's like, I'm waiting for my cousin. For what? Oh, he's going to record a video. When? He's busy. Okay, what's next? I'm going to think about planning on what I say in the video. I said, my brother, by the time you fucking do this, you're going to be out of business. That's the way people work, though. That's the way it works. You need to go and actually do. So now, this is where it gets interesting. This is where when you see Justin post at 3:45 in the morning of like why he's up, it's because he wakes up at 3:31 and in his head he's like, why the fuck does this exist and why won't anyone do anything? And I can't go back to sleep. My wife's like, go back to sleep. I'm like, I can't. I got to go figure this out. And then I go down rabbit holes for 3 hours. So the question becomes why? 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 Because everything I'm saying here, you're all like, I get it, but like I still can't do it. I want to do it, but I can't. Why? Why? Number one, it's comfort. We're going to talk through that. And number two, you don't have a strong enough reason. Has anyone heard of the Stanford marshmallow experiment? Raise your hand if you've heard of the Stanford marshmallow experiment. It's a famous experiment that was done in the 70s. And what they did is they brought a bunch of kids, 3 to 6 years old, in a room, one at a time, and they put one marshmallow in front of them. And they told every single kid, they said, listen, you have a choice. Right now, you can get that one marshmallow. Or if you wait until later, you're going to get 2. And then what they did, they tracked who took 1 and who took 2. And then for literally 30 to 50 years, up until I think 2010, 15-ish, they tracked these kids to see what turned out in their life. Because they wanted to see if that little experiment revealed something about who these people would become. And so when they finished the experiment, what they found, almost to a T, was that every single kid that waited to get the second marshmallow was objectively more successful in their life. They were married, they had a good family, they made more money, they had better personalities, better relationships with people. Almost every single person objectively that waited to get 2 marshmallows was more successful. And so the question becomes, what does that actually mean? It means that the idea of delayed gratification is one of the chief indicators of success in life. And so you should be asking me, Justin, what in the hell does that have to do with comfort? Well, I'm going to tell you. Because in 2018, a group of researchers from NYU went back and looked at this data after it was complete. And they wanted to see if there was anything else that they could get from this, if it was about delayed gratification or there's something more. So they went back and took every kid that did the study and they studied their background and where they were from. And what they found second, what I'm about to tell you, was even more interesting than delayed gratification. What they found was that every single kid that waited to get the second marshmallow came from a much more stable upbringing. Parents that were married, parents that were mentally healthy, parents that raised them in an environment with enough money to eat, parents that didn't abuse substances. They came from a stable environment. So the question is, what does that have to do with delayed gratification? Well, it's actually all about comfort. Because what they found was that the kids who came from unstable homes, when they heard you can wait for 2, they didn't trust it. Because in their life, when they went home sometimes, Daddy would say, I'll be back tomorrow, and he'd be gone for a week. Mommy said in the morning, we're going to go to the park, but she was on a bender and she didn't wake up. And so they didn't trust that it was going to happen. And so for those kids, it was more comfortable to just take the marshmallow right now because the future was so uncertain that was too uncomfortable for them to wait. The future was not guaranteed. And so even though the future could be better, because it wasn't guaranteed, they selected comfort, which was let me get the marshmallow right now. So how does this apply to us? I talked to someone about a month ago, and they're making about $10,000 per month. And I said to them, I'm having this event yesterday. It doesn't cost you anything to come. But I think it can help change your business. I think there's a chance that we can do like what Dan Charlotte talked about yesterday, that you could really like go from $10,000 to $30,000 to $40,000 to $50,000 a month. Like there's a chance that it could do that. And he was like, yeah, maybe I'll do it. And then a week before the event, last week, he messaged me and he said, hey, I can't come. I have 3 patients on the schedule. Now, I know what this guy charges. He charges about $95 a session. And so in that moment, he decided that the guarantee of under $300 for that day was more comfortable than a potential opportunity to come to an event that might change his life forever. But that part, that isn't guaranteed. How does he know? Because when he asked me if I could guarantee that I could help him, I said no. For him, the comfort of those 3 patients, a guaranteed paycheck of $280 whatever dollars, was more comfortable than the potential to change his life. And there's something there for every single one of you in here. Because you don't take action, you don't hire the employee because you can't guarantee they're going to help you build the business. You can't guarantee they're going to give you a return. You don't pay $1,000 to run Google ads because you don't know that it's going to work. You don't put the workshop on because you can't guarantee that people are going to show up. And the comfort, even though the life as it is, you don't love it, it's more safe and it's more comfortable to do nothing. Because the future that isn't guaranteed, you're the same as the kid that took the marshmallow. I can't come up here and guarantee any of you anything. And I told this guy too, he's like, can you guarantee me that? I said no, and let me tell you, brother, if anyone does in my position, run as fast as you can. Because no one can. What was crazy though is I actually showed the math on this for him. He wanted to get to like 50 grand a month, and based on his numbers and what he told me, his cap was 24,650. I said, my brother, I can't guarantee it because you can't fucking do it. I can't. And so for every single one of you, when you don't take action to do the thing that you know you need to do, to grow your business and to spend money that makes you uncomfortable, to join a community, to run ads, to hire someone, to spend money on yourself that you don't think maybe you even deserve. You don't do it because even though today you don't love how it is, and there is a future that maybe could be great, that isn't guaranteed. And because that's not guaranteed, I prefer to just stay as I am. The second reason you don't take action is because of a weak why. I want you to imagine for a second. Imagine for a second that I'm standing up here. The lights are out. Let's just say this. I said close my eyes. Close my eyes and I'm on stage. And you tell me I've got to make it out that door and across the street, but I've got to keep my eyes closed. What am I going to tell you? I'm going to tell you, no fucking shot, bro. Why? Because as the lady, is she here today, by the way? Told me, I have a pretty face. It might ruin my face. Well, she said something else that I won't say, but I don't want to fall. I might hurt myself. I have a group of people that are here. And that's the reason I'm here. So I don't want to walk out and risk injuring myself and walk outside and I might get hit by a car and all of that. But what if you told me that across the street, they were in danger? Do you think I'd fucking go and figure it out? Of course I would. Why? Because a why is strong enough. I talk to people every day. Every day. I really want to start my business. I really want to build a life for my family. I really want my kid to grow a different future than I had. Well, why don't you go and do the thing? Well, my job, it's pretty good and it pays well and I'm not sure and I don't know what to do. Okay, then do that. Because obviously the thing that you're saying you want is not strong enough. For me, I had no fucking choice. I couldn't live with myself if I don't take the risk. There's a chance that this doesn't work. There's a chance that this all fails. There's a chance that first event, when you see the picture back there in September of 2022, when my wife is 4 weeks out from giving birth and there was no reason in the world that we should have done this, that I did it. Because for me, I couldn't fucking sleep with myself. Ooh. I couldn't go to sleep at night thinking that I didn't give myself a chance. That I didn't give you a chance. And so I was willing to risk looking fucking stupid and wasting money because my why was strong enough. And I do all of this for my own family, yes. But I do it more because the risk of it going wrong is worth the reward of watching what happens in your life too. The why is strong enough. If I didn't give a fuck about that, I ain't doing this. For every single one of you, again, find that in yourselves. There's something today you're not doing that you know you should. That you've been told 10, 15, 20 times that you know deep down is what you need to do. You could apply the same example as the first one. Well, why didn't you come here? Well, I had 3 patients on the schedule. Well, your why's not strong enough because that life is good enough for you. Well, it isn't good enough for me. I ain't fucking doing that. For some people it is though. But I just want everyone to know you drift your way into mediocrity that way. You drift your way into mediocrity. Your life will never change with that attitude. How do I know? Go out on the street. 95 out of 100 people out there. Average. They just drift their way because of comfort and they got no fucking reason to do anything. Thank God it's Friday. Oh shit, it's Monday. Every day, every week. That's the life that they live. So for me, how do we define this? Decisions, deciding. We decided to open a business. No, you didn't. You decided to think about it. Action is about starting. There's a guy that I follow online, Dr. John Deloney. I love it. He does family, mental health counseling. And a lot of people on there that come on, they're so overwhelmed and like crazy situations. But the line he always uses that I love, he's like, I hear you. I know there's a lot, but just take the next right step. Just take the next right step. What's the next right step? I was talking to someone yesterday that we wanted to join ChiroBiz. He's like, I just can't think about like it's the mastermind and do all that stuff. I said, I hear you. Come back, take the next right step. You know this is the right move for you. Okay. The next right step. By the way, I'm also talking about your patients. I don't know if I can afford the whole thing. I didn't ask you to afford the whole thing. I asked you to just come in for the free discovery visit. I don't have 5,000. I didn't ask you to do that. I'm just saying, do you have 300? Take the next right step. I don't know how to run Google ads. Good. Let's just take the next right step and start the account. I don't know if I have the money to hire someone. I didn't say hire them. I said put an ad out. Take the next right step. I don't know what system I need to build to scale. Get help. Take the next right step. Bring on the right people. Hire experts. Do the next right step. My friend Vince Gabriel spoke on this stage in the front of his gym. He has a sign that says, you did the hardest thing, we'll take it from here. Same idea. Just take the next right step. 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 And so right now we've got a couple people in this room. We've got 3 people in this room. Number 1, there are people here whose business depends on you. And you guys don't have a business, you have a job. You just happen to be the owner. And what that means is that the revenue rises and falls with your personal effort. And it cannot function without you. The business categorically will not function without you. The thought of you going away for a month and not being involved in it, it's out. And there's a certain set of actions that need to happen to get out of this trap. My friends, most people in our profession, they never get out of this. And success for many years in our world looked like this. Not here. We must take action to get to the next step. Now, the next step, this is actually the scariest one. And my friends, this is where our community right now is stuck. There are people in here, they've got through phase 1, that the business doesn't fully depend on you. You've been able to hire staff. You've been able to bring on team members. You have associates. And this fucking dream that you had that when I can bring people on and then I have other associates and I bring a staff and I pay them will create more freedom in my life. But what happened? Created less. I work more than I used to. I'm more stressed than I was before. And holy shit, do I carry the emotional burden, not just for my family, but now 5 other people's families. And the problem is that you're spending more money with the idea that you're going to get back more time and freedom and autonomy to make more money, yet none of those things have come true. And the realization for the people in that stage is a harsh one. It is that freedom does not come from effort alone. Freedom does not come from effort alone. In stage 1, yes, you just go. As hard as you can, as fast as you can, for as long as you can, say yes to everything, you just fucking go. In stage 2, we got to start thinking about this business differently. We have to build real systems, real structure. We have to lead a team. We have to invest in things that we never thought we would before. Because if not, we stay here forever, more than likely we go back to stage 1. And you know what happens before stage 1? You go get a fucking job. Probably in our profession, 50% of the time, you don't do this anymore. Facts. And the crazy part about what I'm talking about is that this is stats right now. 50% of chiropractors that have a degree are no longer in practice. Physical therapy, the physical therapy industry will be short 16,000 physical therapists per year for the next 3 years. Because they're leaving the profession. Because they're burnt out. Because they've tried to grow. Maybe it's insurance, maybe it's bringing on a team, and they try to bring on a team and they want more money, but they're taking insurance and they have no systems and they have no structure, and they go back and then eventually it's like, I'm out. Let me try something else. What we want to, and the dream is this, is that the business outgrows you. It's that the systems and infrastructure of your business carry it forward. Getting here isn't easy because it requires something uncomfortable. Getting to stage 3 requires an unbelievable and uncomfortable amount of action. And so what I want to do right now is I want to recognize a few people that have taken action. And I want them to stand, and I want you all to cheer for them. So yesterday, we had our first ever Friday Chiro Biz pre-event for our guests. We've never done it before. And at the end, I offered them an opportunity to join our community. And we had 6 people take action. And I want to recognize them. First, Cody Simpson, stand up. Stand up. Good job. Next, if I mispronounce this, Melody DeHirsch. DeHirsch? Kevin Wong. Neil Calabrese. Jen Pietracola. By the way, her daughter, teenage daughter, who's sick, sat in that seminar the whole day with her. Every excuse not to be there. Every excuse. Think about the comparison. One guy couldn't come for 3 patients. Aiden Buckley. Congratulations to all of you. You made the best decision, I promise you. There's obviously a theme here. There's always a reason behind it. I told you the first reason was because the decision versus action, it obviously didn't work the way I wanted it to. But beyond that, everything I teach you usually is something that we're doing as well in our business. And so one thing that we've done over the last 4 months is obsess over this leadership. How many of you guys